what's up, Facebook fans, YouTube subscribers, and Milestones music students? Today I am privileged to have in the studio Jim Martinez. This guy is incredible. You got to check out his website, jimmartinez.com. He's got an amazing resume. Among other things, he started Invisible Touch music software, which is the MIDI songs for all the player pianos and stuff. So if you go into a music store and there's a piano that's playing there, or if you got an electric keyboard and you press that demo button and try to play along to impress your friends, you're probably playing along with Jim Martinez. So thanks a lot for coming in today.
Glad to be here.
I wanted to ask you first about your new CD. You've got 12 CDs, but your latest one, Jazz Praise 4. Tell us a little bit about that.
Well, Jazz Praise 4, I've finished 11 CDs on schedule within a few years. Jazz Praise 4, I started in, I think, 2003. It took me 8 years to finish the CD, so I'm really excited about it. It's really the way, the product is finalized, it's finished, polished, at least in my opinion. I'm really happy with it.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Now, you have this special niche here with, jazz hymns.
Right.
You're the jazz hymn guy.
Well, I'm not the only one, but
you're the best one I've heard, for sure.
Thank you.
How is it that you got into that niche, and how important is it for a musician to find something
Well,
like that?
I didn't start out by doing this on purpose. It was the year 2000. I was sitting at my piano one night, and I started playing Just a Closer Walk with Thee on the piano. It must have been 1 o'clock in the morning, and it was dark, and all of a sudden, these Bill Evans jazz chords started coming out, and I thought, hey, this is kind of neat. I didn't think about it, but I grabbed a piece of paper, started writing out this arrangement, and before I knew it, I had a whole arrangement done. And so I remember the next night, I did the same thing. I thought maybe the faucet's still on. And so I did another hymn, and another piece of paper was filled up within, a half an hour or 2 hours. And so I ended up doing a whole album in a week.
Wow.
I ended up recalling Ed Thigpen, who was a good friend of mine who just passed away, who played drums for Oscar Peterson and Sarah Vaughan and Ella Fitzgerald. And he said, yeah, I'd love to come record with you, Jim. And so that was my first of what I call the Jazz Praise series. And number 4 just came out a couple days ago.
Wow, that's neat. What's the best place to put your efforts? Should you just practice a whole lot if you want to make a career out of music? Is it just all about practicing? Should you work on promoting yourself?
Yeah, I think it's a fine balance. I think musicians have to have a business sense nowadays, because there's not a lot of record labels signing musicians now, and even if you did, you're not going to get a lot of money out of it like you used to. So, and of course that's debatable. But if you keep the simple things like a mailing list, when you have an album come out, then you take that money and you take the profits and put it in another CD, and then pretty soon you can hire anybody you want because you build it like a business. And you every time you sell a record to somebody, you get their address or email. And by the time you come out with your 3rd or 4th album, your mailing list could be 1,000, 2,000 people, and then when you come out with it, it's paid off right away, which is the case with my CDs. And I'm very proud of that, because there's a company online that does, I think it's Artist Share, where you can put on a CD and people will support you. I've never had to do that. I've got 13 albums out now, and I'm very proud of that because I've treated it like a business. So I've always rolled over my previous CD into another CD, not spent the money on a lot of stuff.
Right. Well, tell me about the time or times, I guess, that you've met Oscar Peterson, because you've got pictures with all kinds of people, but that one, as a pianist, hit me.
Well, Oscar Peterson, if you guys don't know who he is, was probably the greatest jazz pianist of all time. He, of course, I like to equate him as the Chopin of jazz because he has such amazing technique. But it's not just playing lots of notes, it's what you do with those notes, and what he did was magic. Of course, he could play beautiful ballads and boogie woogie and bossa nova, everything. Whatever he did was amazing. I used to transcribe his work, which means I would take his albums and I would write out note for note what he played. And some of those lines go by so fast. You really have to kind of... I didn't use the slow down method. I just paused it and I listened to a lick and then I would write it down. And pretty soon I'd have 150 solos that he did off of different songs.
Wow.
And I'd practice these and then I'd perform these. And I even worked with his former drummer, Ed Thigpen, on a couple of shows. So I kind of turned it into a little bit of a... I don't know, I wasn't a stalker, but I used to go to all of his concerts. And I think I saw him live 12 times. And about the last 4 or 5 times, I'd wait in line to get his autograph afterwards. And every time he'd be really cordial and he'd be super nice. And
to what degree do you ever feel like you need to change your message or avoid talking so much about your Christianity and prayer?
I never change my message. My message is always, it's who I am. It's who God made me to be. And I think if I'm doing a church concert, no problem, because you're in your own preaching to the choir. But if you're doing like a jazz club concert, I'll say something like, hey, you know what? I don't care if you're atheist or you're Christian or Jewish. You all know Amazing Grace. Everyone loves Amazing Grace. I'm going to play a version for you right now, and I'm going to combine Dave Brubeck's Take 5 with that. And it breaks the ice because people love Dave Brubeck. And if they know Take 5, it kind of breaks down all the inhibitions. So it's my way of kind of breaking down that secular barrier. They'll accept it because they're expecting to hear some great jazz, and that's really what I'm doing.
Well, thanks so much for coming in. Before you go, would you play something for us?
Absolutely.
All right, thanks.
You bet. Thank you.